Hello friends, you're welcome to my complete Java course. In today's video lecture, we are going to learn loops in Java. So in this video lecture, we will learn for loop in Java. So let's start. Loops in Java. So in programming language, loops are used to execute a set of instruction function repeatedly. When some condition become true, there are three types of loops in Java. So loop basically execute the statements again and again till then the condition is true. Okay, so there are three types of loops in Java. Number one, for loop. Number two, while loop. And number three, do while loop. So for loop. The Java for loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times. If the number of iteration is fixed, it is recommended to use for loop. Number two, while loop. The Java while loop is used to iterate a part of program several times if the number of iteration is not fixed. It is recommended to use while loop. It means if we know that how many times we have to repeat any statement, or we have to repeat, or we have to execute some part of the program, then we should use for loop. And if we don't know how many times we have to repeat the statements or part of the code, then we should use while loop. Number three is do while loop. The Java do while loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times. Use it if the number of iteration is not fixed and you must have to execute the loop at least once. So in the do while loop, first the set of statement or part of the program will be executed, then the condition will be checked. So in the do while loop, the code is executed at least one time. After that the condition is checked. But in the other loop like a for loop and while loop, first the condition check. If the condition is true, only then the statement will be executed. Okay. So Java for loop versus while loop versus do while loop. Number introduction. The Java for loop is a control flow statement that iterates a part of the program multiple times. While loop. The Java while loop is a control flow statement that executes a part of the program repeatedly on the basis of a given Boolean condition. The Java do while loop is a control flow statement execute a part of the program at least once, and the further execution depends upon the given Boolean condition. When to use? If the number of iteration is fixed, it is recommended to use for loop. If the number of iteration is not fixed, it is recommended to use while loop. If the number of iteration is not fixed and you must have to execute the loop at least once, it is recommended to use do while loop. Syntax: for init, initialization, then condition check, then increment or decrement. Here is the code in the curly braces. In the while loop, condition check, then the execute the code. In the do while loop, first execute the code, then check the condition. Example: for loop for int I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, and print the value of I. While loop int I equal to 1, while I less than equal to 10, print the value of I. Do while loop int I equal to 1, do print the value of I first, then increment the value and check the condition. syntax for infinitive loop. So this is the syntax for the for infinitive loop. This is the condition while the while loop will be infinite time, and this is the condition where do while loop will be infinite loop. So here we will discuss in the for loop. The Java for loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times. If the number of iteration is fixed, it is recommended to use for loop. There are three types of for loop in Java. Number one, simple for loop. Number two, for each enhanced for loop. Number three, labeled for loop. A simple for loop is the same as C and C++. We can initialize the variable, check the condition, and increment and decrement value. It consists of four parts. Number one, initialization. It is the initial condition which is executed once when the loop starts. Here we can initialize the variable or we can use an already initialized variable. It is an optional condition. Number two, condition. It is the second condition which is executed each time to the test the condition of the loop. It continuous execution unit until the condition is false. It must return boolean value either true or false. It is an optional condition. Statement. The statement of the loop is executed each time until the second condition is false. Number four, increment and decrement. It increments or decrements the variable value. It is an optional condition. So this is a syntax for the for loop. Initialization, the variable, then condition check, and then increment and decrement, and the execution of the statement. This is the flow chart for the for loop. Initialization, then condition check, then statement execution, then increment decrement, and again if again check the condition. If it is true, then also statement will be executed, and then again increment or decrement the value. If the condition is false, the loop will be out from the execution. So this is the basic example of the for loop. Okay, here we are printing the value from 1 to 10 by using the for loop. Okay, so here we initialize the value I equal to 1, and then we are checking the condition. Till then the I value will become less than or equal to 10. We will increase the value of I, and if this condition is true, then this statement will be executed. So let's it with the practical. So friends, I have written the code here for int I equal to 1, I less than 10, and I plus plus. So first, this is the initialization part. Here we have initialized variable I with the 1, and then we are checking the condition I less than equal to 10, which is true, means 1 less than equal to 10. Then it will execute this statement and it will print the 1. Then after the printing this, it will increase the value of I, which is 2. Then it again check the condition and print the value of I. Again it will increment and check the condition and print the value I. So if we run this code, it will print from 1 to 10 value. You can check it. Okay, so the value 1 to 10 will be printed. So here you can see the output will be 1 to 10. If we have a for loop inside the another loop, it is known as a nested for loop. Okay, the inner loop execute completely whenever outer loop execute. So this is the example of the nested for loop. Here in the nested for loop, outer for loop will execute one time and the inner loop completely executed. Here when the it will check I equal to 1. For the I equal to 1, the inner loop will execute 3 times. Okay, and again it will, once the inner loop will be completely executed, again it will check the outer condition. If it is true, then again the inner loop will be executed completely. So in this program, first we are checking, we initialize the value I equal to 1, then we are checking I less than equal to 3. Yes, condition is true. It will now check the inner for loop. Here we initialize value of j with 1 and checking the condition j less than equal to 3, which is true, then it will print the value of I and j. Again it will check, it will increase the value of j and check the condition, print the value of I and j. Again it will check, increase the value and check the condition and print the value of I and j. It will execute this statement till then this condition will be false. Once this condition will be false, again the control will goes to the outer loop. Again it will increase the value of I and check the condition. If the condition is true, then it will again print the value, execute this for loop and check the condition of j and print the statement this. So the output will be for 1 I equal to 1, for outer loop I equal to 1, the inner loop will be executed 3 times. That's why for I value 1 1 1, the outer inner loop value will be 1 2 3. Again when the outer loop value will be 2, the inner 2 inner value, inner for loop value will be 1 2 3. In the third iteration, the outer for loop value will be 3 and inner loop will be executed from starting, which is 1 to 3. So the outer loop value is 3 3 3, then the inner value is 1 2 3. Let's see this with the practical. So here we write down the code and what we have understand in the slide, and once we it run, here we will get the output as we have shown in the slide. 1 1 1 2 1 3. This is the I value, this is the j value. Again this 2 2 is the I value, this is the j value, this is the I value and this is the j value. Now we will discuss about the Java for each loop. The for each loop is used to traverse array or collection in Java. It is easier to use than simple for loop because we don't need to increment. And the syntax is for, type of variable and array. And this is the code. This loop is applicable only for the array and the collection. Here we give the type of the value, type of the value which is in the array. If the array is integer type value, then we give here int variable. Suppose this is the array, integer array, 12, 23, 44, 56 and 78. So we can print this array by using the for each loop. So here we give the reference of the array which we have given ARR, and here we give the variable data type. What is the data type? Which kind of the data hold by array? Integer type. So we define the variable int I. If the array hold the string type value, then we give here string str. Okay, string type. So when you will run this program, you will get the output it will print the value from the array. Let's see with the practically. Okay, now you can see here we have pasted the example from the slide here, and if we run this program we will get the output as we have shown in the slide. So this is the output. It is printing the value of array elements. Okay, so the for each loop is applicable only for the arrays and collection. Here we have seen the example on array. In the upcoming lecture we will see the example on the collection, how to iterate and print the value of collection by using the for loop. Now we will talk about the labeled for loop. Java labeled for loop. We can have a name of each Java for loop. To do so, we use label before the for loop. It is useful if we have nested for loop so that we can break or continue a specific for loop. Usually break and continue keywords break and continuous the innermost for loop only. About the break and continuous keyword we will learn detail in the upcoming video lecture. Till here just see that we are using the break and continuous keywords. So in the labeled for loop we just give the label for a particular for loop. So label means name. We are giving the name for a for loop. So if we want to continue or break a particular for loop, we can use that label or we can use that name. The syntax is label name, then we define the for loop. So this is the example. Here we give the for loop and this for loop name we have given AA, and again we give the for loop and we give the name of BB. So while executing the inner for loop we check the condition. If I value equal to 2 and j value equal to 2, then we break the outer loop and come out from the loop and print the I or j value. So here we are breaking the outer loop. Suppose we have another one loop, then if we want to break that loop, then so we can define the break and label name. If we want to continue some loop on the some condition, then we can define continue and label name. So in this case, when the I value will be 1, then it will iterate 3 times because it is not I equal to this condition will not be satisfied. So it will print the I and j value. Once the I value is 2, then j value 1, then it will print 2 and 1. But when the I value will be 2 and j value will be 2, then it will break the loop and come out from the loop. Let's see with the practically. So here you can look out. I have pasted the program from the slide here. In this we have given the label for this loop and the label BB for this. If we run this program we will get the output this, because after checking this condition it will break the outer loop. If we comment this break, then it will print the complete execution like this. Okay, so you will get the complete output. Now if you use break BB, it will break inner loop only, which is the default behavior of any loop. Okay, so if you break a B label, then it will not break anything. It will print the whole data. Let's see it with the practically. So If you will print, you will get the output only this, but if you give the break, then you will get the complete output. Now we will discuss about the Java infinite for loop. If you use two semicolons in the for loop, it will give infinite for loop. Like this is the syntax for infinite for loop, and this is the example. Once you will run this example, it will give a infinity times of whatever you print. For the closing or exit of this program, you will have to use Control C. So it will exit from the program. So I show you the demonstration. Okay, once you will execute this, okay, let's see. It is printing high in multiple times. So this is going to infinity loop. If you want to stop it, just press Ctrl and C. Or you can terminate from here. So friends, this was all about the for loop. I hope you enjoyed this video lecture. In this video lecture, I have covered a single thing about the for loop. So after watching this for loop video, you will not have any doubt on the for loop. Also then, if you have any doubt, you can comment me. I will try to explain more on this. So thank you for watching this video lecture, and watch my next video lecture for learning new things in the control statement. In the next video, we learn the while loop.